We speak now to Sithembele, who is the spokesperson of the South African Commercial Catering and Allied Workers Union, Saccawu. A very good evening to Mr. Tshwete, and thank you so much for speaking to us. Perhaps let's just first establish the main source of the deadlock between yourselves and management over wages.
Good evening to you and the viewers. We declared a dispute around June over wages and working conditions. We've tabled our demands then to the company, which I think you've alluded to just now. We've been trying to negotiate with the company and to no avail. Mainly because of the attitude or the conduct of the company around the negotiating table, but also outside the negotiating table. You know, when they deal with our workers, we've been at least trying to contain our workers not to go on a full-blown strike. We've heard about 3 limited duration strikes in this period, I think 2 in December. We've also had sessions with them trying to resolve the dispute. Mm-hmm. They are basically firm on 4.5%, which is conditional, by the way. You know, the condition that they put to workers not on the negotiating table is that they must resign from the union. The other condition that they put at the negotiating table is that we must dissolve the bargaining unit. That is unheard of. We cannot do that. And they are so consistent on that. And this has aroused a lot of anger from workers, which we are, by the way, we're trying to contain, you know, not to go on a full-blown strike. But as a money-driven union, I will tell you, last week we were going just right around the country seeking the mandate, and they are saying, look, the company is really undermining not only them, but also collective bargaining, but also the laws of the country, you know, in so many ways, you know. How could you begin to say that you must not associate yourself with any organization? In this country, you are free. The Constitution does allow you to associate yourself with any organization or any entity that you wanted to associate yourself with, as long as it is legal.
Okay. Now, you say you've made repeated attempts to negotiate for a 12% wage settlement, but a no retrenchment policy in the next 2 years is something that Makro is claiming that you blindsided them with, that you just added at the last minute.
No, it was not. It's in the initial demands that we submitted to them. They have not said that. They have not alluded to that in terms of our negotiations. You know, we're saying this because retrenchments is only on operational reasons or economic reasons. We don't see the company suffering any losses in terms of profit. There's probably going to be game that is struggling. You know, all other, you know, divisions, you know, that is Makro, builders, fruit sport, and others are doing well. You know, so they know that whatever that they are saying to the media, it's not true.
Now, Saccawu members have agreed to a wage settlement of 4.5 at Builders Warehouse. That's the group's top performing division, and at Game. That the increase was awarded to employees across the group. That's what Makro says. Why are talks different? I mean, that's what Massmart says. Why are talks different at Makro?
That's the problem with this company. If they want centralized bargaining, then we are up for that. In fact, we have suggested that we need to bargain centrally. You know, they can't compare builders and Game and others to Makro. Makro has done very well, you know, with The introduction of e-commerce, for instance, even within the COVID period, they were doing so well, you know. If you look, I don't have the figures now. If you look at their interim results in 2022, Makro has done very, very well. They cannot compare game and builders with Makro.
Mr. Tshwete, is it true that Makro has received an 8% average increase for workers over the past 3 years, as the company claims?
No, you see, we had a 3-year agreement from 2019. And in those years, there's been minimal increase. You know, it's somewhere in the region of 7.5%. And I think the last one was 8.5%. So all we're saying to them is that we need 12% increase for workers to be able to sustain themselves and their family units. You know, economists will tell you that, you know, their family will consist of 4 or 5 people. You know, right now the minimum wages at the store, you know, it's less than 5,000. You know, within that amount, it doesn't sustain you know, families. Also, you know, there are social security issues, you know, like your medical aid. For instance, those members, you know, were about 5,000 members there, which is 85% of workers at this store, who are earning below 5,000. You know, that's enough for them to at least be able to sustain themselves in terms of, you know, your basic food basket. You know, those workers have been there. There are people that have 60 years and above, you know, who have worked there, who do not know what a medical aid is, for instance. You know, so we're sitting down with them at the negotiating table, discussing these issues. Twice they've said that they are going back to their principals to go and try and get a mandate. Just imagine someone going to a negotiating table without a mandate. That's how these guys are really, you know, not taking us seriously. You know, workers are really fed up now. You know, we've been trying to contain them. You know, this 10-day strike is not going to end up in South Africa only. We have conducted our, you know, the global trade union federations, you know, UniGlobal, to be able to really knock sense into the parent company, which is Walmart, to boycott all of these, you know, all the products right around the country, the world, in fact, to boycott all the products of this. Once these 10 days go past and then we don't see any progress, we are moving even further. It's no longer going to be a limited duration strike. It's going to be a full-blown strike. And you must also note that it's no longer a dispute about wages and working conditions. We are defending the rights that we have won through collective bargaining that they are trying to erode in this country. There are laws in this country. There's a constitution in this country. They cannot just do as they please.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Sithembele. Tshwete is Saccawu's spokesperson.